Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to today's insightful webinar, Demystify Insurance, what you need to know. I'm delighted to have you join us for this insightful discussion this morning. Today's webinar is part of our ongoing commitment to educate, empower, and engage our communities with knowledge that matters. So whether you're a policyholder, a partner, or a business owner, or simply somebody curious about how insurance works, we are delighted to have you join us at this section. Insurance is often misunderstood, seen as complex, intimidating, or even unnecessary. Yes, it remains one of the most powerful tools for safeguarding our futures, our businesses, and our loved ones. At its core, insurance is a straightforward and essential tool designed to do one thing: protect what matters most to you. So today, our aim is to simplify, clarify, and empower you with practical knowledge to make informed decisions about your insurance needs. At Credential Insurance, our mission has always been to provide innovative, reliable, and customer-centric solutions that protect what matters most to us. So this webinar reflects our commitment to transparency and education, ensuring that every individual and organization can navigate the world of insurance with confidence. You don't need to be a financial expert to understand insurance, truly. What you do need is the right information presented in a relatable way. And that's exactly what this session is all about. To achieve this objective, we have put together a knowledgeable panel from our claims, underwriting, and business development teams who interact daily with the real challenges and solutions that insurance offers. They will surely share their practical examples, answer your questions, and provide the clarity we know so many of you are looking forward to. So over the next 2 hours, the team will break down common myths about insurance, explain key products and their benefits, discuss how to tailor coverage to your unique needs, and answer your present questions in real time. So I encourage you all to participate actively, ask questions, share experiences, and let's make this a truly interactive section. By the end of our time today, I hope you feel more equipped to leverage insurance as a tool for security, growth, and most importantly, peace of mind. Thank you once again for joining us today. We look forward to a meaningful, enlightening, and impactful conversation. Welcome and enjoy this section. Thank you all for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, the MD, our host, Coronation Insurance PLC, for that amazing welcome remark. Without wasting time at all, I'd like to welcome our panelists. Like the MD has said, the goal of this webinar is to ensure that you leave this session, saying thank you to Coronation for a better understanding of how insurance works. And in doing that, we want to ensure that our session is as interactive as possible. We've put in place a system that ensures that we ask questions and respond to them real time. And so we don't have a keynote speaker. We just have panelists that stand by to respond to your questions. The Q&A chat is open for your questions. And so welcome the panelists. The first panelist I would like to welcome is Augustine Anikwe Onukwebe, who is the head corporate underwriting at Coronation Insurance PLC. Augustine is a seasoned insurance professional with expertise in underwriting strategy, policy development, and risk assessment. Augustine holds an ACIIN certification. He has a BLC in insurance and risk management from ESUT. He also has an MSc from the University of Lagos. Augustine is currently pursuing a PhD at Lagos State University. Augustine's career spans across roles in Consolidated Hallmark Insurance, where he led the underwriting team and ensured compliance. He's also General Secretary of the Fire Office Committee, under NIA, actively contributing to in the insurance industry? Welcome, Augustine.
Edwin, thank you so much for the long introduction. I appreciate it a lot.
Welcome, Augustine. We look forward to hearing from you. The next panelist is Charles Ogwebu. Charles is the head retail claims, Coronation Insurance PLC. Charles has a decade experience in claims administration and risk management. At Coronation, Charles leads our retail claims team, ensuring efficiency and fair settlements of claims. So, I'm sure a lot of customers have questions already for Charles. Charles' expertise includes technical claims resolution, salvage recovery, and subrogation. Charles previously worked at Zenith General Insurance and was instrumental in pre-loss inspections and policy interpretation. Charles has a master's degree in risk management and a BSc in accounting from LASU. Charles is also an associate of CIIN with certifications in leadership and claims management. Can we welcome Charles?
Thank you, Edwin. I'm happy to be here, excited to be here, and I look forward to a very interactive and insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I can't wait for the questions that are coming your way. Thank you so much, sir. Our next panelist is Adaugo Okeke. Adaugo is a retail sales manager at Coronation Insurance. Adaugo is passionate about insurance with a strong experience in driving retail sales and customer engagement. She has a diploma in law from Uniben and a bachelor's degree in history and international relations. History and international relations. Adaugo is a chartered member of CIIN. Adaugo is committed to grassroots insurance education and has led several initiatives to simplify insurance for everyday Nigerians. Her strength lies in connecting with communities and building trust through relatable engagement. Adaugo, can't wait to have you. Welcome on board.
Thank you so much, Edwin, for the introduction. I'm looking forward to this session. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Adaugo. Our next panelist is Samuel Kayode. Samuel Kayode is the team lead with Retail Bank Assurance, Coronation Insurance PLC. Samuel leads bank assurance sales in Coronation with over 10 years experience across banking and insurance. Samuel has an HND and BSc in computer science. He also has a PGD and MBA from Reginald's Business School, South Africa. Samuel is currently pursuing a DB at Ajayi Crowther University. Samuel is a senior associate of enterprise risk management. Samuel is known for his strategic thinking, market insight, and leadership. Samuel consistently drives growth by aligning customers' needs with tailored financial solutions. We can't wait to have Samuel Kayode. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Edwin, and welcome. We hope to have a very wonderful and impactful section this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, without wasting time at all, we'll go on to our first question. I would like to mention before going into this that the Q&A box section is open for questions, and I would appreciate if we can drop our questions there. The first question goes to Augustine. And it is, what key factors do underwriters look at when reviewing an insurance application? And why is this important? What are the things that underwriters look at when reviewing an insurance form? And why is this important to the average consumer?
All right, Edwin, thank you very much for the question. We have to know who is an underwriter and what is underwriting all about. So we'll start by looking at what underwriting is all about. And when we are talking about underwriting, it's basically evaluation and assessment of a risk that are being presented by a client to decide whether to accept it or not. There are key factors we put into consideration, whether to accept or not. And if it's to be accepted, the risk is to be accepted, what is the price? What is the premium for that particular risk? So it is key we evaluate the risk. What is the nature of the risk? What is the level of exposure? What is at stake? So these are key things underwriter look before accepting a risk. And so basically, when we look at the factors we consider, we having defined underwriting as a process which involve evaluating of risk and assessing the risks to determine whether to accept or not, and what if it is accepted, what is the price of that risk? What is the premium due for that risk? Apart from the premium, what are the policy coverage? What are the terms and conditions of that policy? What are the eligibility of those policies? When we're talking about eligibility, it has to do with exclusions, exceptions to the policy documents. So these are the key things we look into when underwriting, what underwriting is all about. Basically, what we look at is for general business, basically we look at the occupation. What is the occupation of the insured? What is the nature of that risk? What nature of business that is involved? Okay, so these are the things we look into. You look at the location. Where is the risk located? Is it at Ikoyi, for instance? Is the risk at Benue? Is the risk at Medugri? We look at that. Location is very key. Another thing is the nature of the risk. What is the risk involved? Apart from that, also we look at the occupation. What is the nature of the business of the insured? The nature will give us fair understanding of the level of exposure that is involved. And so these are the things we look at. We look at the claim history of that risk. Has the insured had any claim before? Has he had any loss before? So we look at those history. If possible, if we have the claim ratio, we also look at it. It's a very key. And we also look at the value at stake, which is the sum insured, the value at risk. The value is a key factor of the key things we look at when assessing a particular risk as an underwriter. And so we look at the value as well before deciding whether to accept it or not. We also look at some other physical hazard. What are the possibility of loss? What are the level of exposure that is involved? So generally, these are the things we look at when assessing a risk. And these factors are also data driven. Sometimes we look at available data available, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to claim experience,
Yes.
loss experience. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Augustine. I think what's interesting is what you mentioned about the fact that underwriting is a process where the company gets to decide whether or not take up a risk. Many times, a customer can think that is a right that a company, an insurance company, and you mentioned the criteria that the company looks through to decide whether or not to take up a risk, claim history, nature of the business, location of the business, and so forth. So I think that an insurance company not to take a risk, you can imagine a an insured that has gotten his car replaced over and over and within the space of maybe a year. That asset is continually based on claims histories, is a replacement continually. I mean, is a cause of concern, and any insurance company would want to consider whether or not to go on with that type of risk. Profound. Thank you so much, Augustine. Augustine, you hold a very serious position as head of underwriting for coronation insurance, and a lot of questions are being thrown your way already. So we see that Q1 20 and Q1 2025, premium generated, it has doubled. So as at Q1 2024, we at insurance industry, what was that 493 billion. Today we are at 769 billion in just Q1. And that's double the growth of what we had last year. And so a question here for you is, how do you ensure that customers are fairly priced, especially given the low trust in Nigeria? How do you ensure that customers are fairly priced and they are not underinsured, especially given the low trust in Nigeria? Augustine.
All right, thank you, Edwin, once again. Basically, one of the key problems we have in Nigeria insurance industry is issue of trust. Over the year, we have had issue of trust. However, what we do is to display some element of transparency in our rating. There is no two risks that are the same. Every risk have their factors you put into consideration when assessing such a risk. And so, number one, we ensure that our customers are adequately covered. We advise. One of the rules we also play is to advise the customer on the possibility of having adequate insurance coverage, okay? And we charge adequately. Like I said earlier on, a risk that have a high claim ratio cannot be rated with a risk with low claim ratio. So we look at those measures. We all the rating you give to someone that is experienced driver is not the same rating you give for inexperienced driver. So we ensure that one, we are transparent in our dealing with our customer. We also ensure that we are fair to everyone. Okay, like I said earlier on, one of the key things we look into when rating risks is basically data driven. We look at available data before making our decisions. So we ensure that everybody is fairly and equally treated without being biased of any kind. And so this is what we do, and we treat every customer based on its own merits. Like I mentioned earlier, no two customers are the same. Every risk are viewed separately in different perception. And so this is what we do to ensure that everyone is fairly treated. I don't know if you have answered your question or the question asked. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Augustine. That was brilliant and straightforward. The next question goes to Charles. So, Charles, what we see is when it comes to top pairs of claims in Nigeria, we have ICO, Azamazad, Musha Benefits, and Coronation paying the most claims. But despite this, and despite the fact that in 2024, about 600 billion was paid in claims, many Nigerians still doubt that claims are paid. They think that this is a myth. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Okay, thank you, Edwin. You see, people's perception is often rooted in experiences. But you see, modern insurance companies, modern underwriters, as we like to call ourselves, we have a reputation to protect. We have a good name to protect. Hence, the reason why you see the companies you've listed earlier paying so much claims. I'd like to point out that, you see, apart from the reputation we have to protect, we also have healthy competition amongst ourselves, and then we are heavily regulated. So gone are the days where people have wrong perception about insurance. In the modern day insurance practice, claims payment is a very key factor. As a matter of fact, prompt claim payment have a very is a thin line between getting more businesses and paying prompt claims. So Beyond what I've just said, the data you read out speak for itself. I mean, we can't argue with data. At Coronation alone, in the year 2023, we paid out 3 billion, close to 4 billion, as a matter of fact, precisely 3.7 billion. In 2024, we paid out 4.8, and year to date, 2025, as we have it, we are going a little bit above 9 million. So people should erase that myth from mind. Insurance business as we have it now is a very serious business. We are out to protect what matters to you, as the MD has rightly put it out, so that you can have the peace of mind which you really deserve. You know, as hardworking people, as hardworking Nigerians, it is only wise to protect that which matters to you when you have it. And insurance is one of the tools that you can achieve that. So back to your question, Edwin, those days of having that meet is over. The insurance business right now is a very serious one, and we take claims payment very, very, very key. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Like the good book says, um, your name is better than a good name is better than silver or gold. And Coronation is not one of those companies that would trade the the brand that we built over years, over non-payment of claims. And so you can trust us. We have another question for you, Charles. But I would like to share an experience I had. About 2 years ago, I was in a very tough financial place because I was sponsoring a relative on an academic quest. And I woke up one morning and my phone went off. In fact, for days I was without a mobile device, and I work in the digital marketing space, and I need a device. I'd even forgotten that that device was insured until it clicked. Maybe after the fifth day, that wait, oh, this device is insured now. Um, file for claims. I filed for claims, and that was the first time I actually filed for claim. And I filed for claims, and I got a brand new device. Of course, I was very happy from that with that experience. Not just that I really needed a device, but that the claims payment came quickly to ensure that my work was not disrupted. The question to you, Charles, is what's the very first thing someone should do when they need to file a claim?
Okay, thank you, Edwin, for the question. You see, let me start from the academics. The book says when you have a claim, you act as if you're uninsured, take reasonable steps to ensure that the loss is not more than what it is. It doesn't extend, more than what it is. But quite frankly, if we make it practical, when someone suffers a loss, the person is confused, the person is at the point of panic. So I like to bring in reality to whatever I'm doing. So when you have a claim, first of all, remember that you have insurance, and then let that peace of mind that you have subscribed for when you bought the policy, let it sit in so that panic doesn't come in. So it is at that point of calm that you cannot begin to take precautionary steps to avoid more damage. Insurance, we like evidence a lot. I mean, insurance is about substantiating your claims now. If you want to make a claim statement in insurance, you have to substantiate it. So evidence, please, evidence. So evidence involves taking photographs, videos, and all, just to have it so that you can support your claim. So the very first thing you have to do when you have a claim, back to your question, is remain calm. Please remain calm. Remember that you have insurance, and just take precautionary steps to avoid further damage and have evidences. evidences are key. For the other supporting documents, by the time you get across to the insurance companies, by the time you get across to Coronation, we will list the items required for you to make a claim. But what I just listed is at the point of the loss, we call it on the spot location. All right. What you need to do is remain calm, do not fidget, and get as much evidence as possible. And then at Coronation, we make our claims process very seamless, very easy. We also have a digital claims portal working for us where you don't have to do a lot of paperwork to substantiate your claim. You just need that link. The link will take you, the link will just walk you through the process of making a claim, and then you're good to go. So supporting documents, there are a number of them, but when you have a claim, please remain calm and then prevent further damage, and then just substantiate your claim. And then at Coronation, you get your claims payments easy and fast. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. I like what you said, especially as regards peace of mind. One thing that the MD emphasized in his opening remark was about peace of mind, and that's what insurance gives you. Research has shown that a lot of the problems that we face, by just being patient, they go away. And in fact, decisions that are made in a hurry creates more damage than the initial damage that was made. And so just that peace of mind puts you in a position of power and puts you in a position to make real tangible, decisions that would change your life and change the trajectory of those around you. Thank you again, Charles. The next question goes to Adalgo. Adalgo, I know that Coronation is currently doing a lot of initiatives to ensure that we reach out to people that are in rural areas and people that do not have digital devices and are not digitally savvy. The question to you is, what options exist for everyday Nigerians, especially those in rural areas?
All right, thank you so much for that question. I'm so glad to be a part of Coronation that gets across to most of these people who feel they are unreachable, or they feel like maybe this thing is not meant for us. I'm sure it's for people who have a lot of money. Coronation has made it so simple that we take it down to women in the market or even rural areas as it applies. We have very affordable plans that cuts across everyone, like the enhanced term insurance. Of course, at first, when we're talking to them about it, they're always hesitant because they don't understand why their lives, for example, should be protected. But I like what the welcome address that was taken by Olamide Olajolo. He said something that was very key: protect what matters most to you. So if your life counts, if it matters to you and the life of your loved ones, it won't be a big deal to take out a certain amount. In any case, we're in very tough times where things aren't exactly cheap. So these are some of the things we throw out to them when we talk to them. But like I said, the simplest, most affordable insurance plans has been made available to these so-called undeserved people. And I and my team, we do justice to ensure that these people in rural areas or places that we term unreachable, that they get this.
Thank you, Adalgo. We have one more question for you, but you have...
It's a wonderful ride so far, and we're still course.
Okay. We seem to have lost you for a bit. Adalgo, can you confirm that you can hear us? We have one more question for you
Yes,
before we move on to
I can hear you.
Thank you so much for your response, Adalgo. It's interesting, actually. Not just the rich, but for the underserved, market in Nigeria. And by that, we are not class. We're also referring to digital um digital savviness, right? And I know that coordination has ensured that you can buy products, and it leads me to the second question to you, Adalgo. You can buy products on the Access Mall, you can buy products on iAgent through our agents, you can buy products on the retail portal. In fact, you can buy products via USSD. We are pushing this with bank assurance. So our next question to you is, are there flexible and affordable payment plans to help more people access insurance? What was the payment system like for the coronation insurance policy plan?
Sorry, could you come back on that? Because I'm not sure I got you.
All right, so the payment system, the payment plans for, so are they monthly plans for products? Are they quarterly plans, or you just have to pay on an annual basis policies?
Okay, all right. So it actually depends. When we sell these products to the customers, we make them understand that it has to be something convenient. It's easy to tell someone, oh, why not pick a quarterly plan? But then you have to also look at the fact that this person may or may not be able to afford it. So we break it down to them in different plans. Okay, we have the monthly one, we have the yearly, and then for those who want to do single sum. So yes, there are flexible plans. I'll make them understand that these plans are really, it's up to them to choose, and it has to be convenient, because of course, if you pick up this plan, would expect that you would keep up to speed on your payments. So yes, we have flexible options for them.
Thank you so much, Adalgo. Our next question goes to Samuel Kayode. So for bank assurance, we know that the bank is reaching millions of people. How does bank assurance help increase insurance access? Specifically, we know that the bank industry has about 212 million active customers. We would like to know how the bank is, or the bank assurance arrangement is helping to ensure that insurance gets to as many people as possible across different socioeconomic class.
All right. Thank you very much, Edwin, for the question. Good morning again, once again, for our viewers listening to us. So, firstly, we need to understand what we mean by bank assurance. I know a lot of our customers, especially the Access Bank customers, would have been seeing on their app or messages coming to them via mails and the like, saying that you have a partner bank assurance, bank assurance. So, what exactly do we mean by this bank assurance? Bank assurance simply means that we are providing insurance services to the bank customers through a referral model. So what that means is that the customer already trusts their account officers. They already trust the bank with their money. So what now happens to the assets? So what we're trying to do is to ensure that we have a coverage for the asset. As much as their money is saved, the asset is supposed to be saved as well. So let's say, for example, somebody get a loan from the bank to make a purchase for an asset. And all of a sudden, the asset went into a drain, probably by theft or by destruction by fire and all that. Then how would this customer be able to pay back if there is no insurance? So what we've done is to ensure that we protect the assets that the customers get via the loan that they get from the bank, which would ensure that whatever happens to them, their business will continue. As our claim personnel has said the other time, what they just need to do is to get across to us what they need to do via their claim to us to ensure that we settle in on the claim. So this will also be a win-win for everybody. Nobody is going anywhere to look for money to start afresh. We are here to ensure that that is done. And currently, we have a bank assurance partnership with Access Bank, which basically from the inception in 2021 to date is the top and the highest generating premium for insurance and the bank. So the partnership we have ensures that as much as the customer's funds are saved in the bank, the assets of the customers as well as saved wherever the customer is. So that is basically what the bank assurance partnership within the bank and the insurance company basically talks about. Thank you very much.
Samuel, thank you so much. One thing I'm taking out from your conversation is that bank assurance allows for very seamless transfer of both payment and value between customers and bank assurance. That's Access Bank and the insurance company. You don't need to go and transfer, fill a form, or make a transfer via the app. You go, just by notifying bank assurance, it can be debited directly and value can flow to you via the bank assurance arrangement. Thank you so much, Samuel. I think that's it. Very powerful arrangement, and we are looking to see how bank assurance unfolds in the Nigerian space. Samuel, one more question for you before we go on to Augustine. Samuel, how do you make sure customers give full consent before insurance is bundled with banking services? Especially because we don't want to have data privacy issues.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. At the start of the bank assurance partnership with the bank, there were a whole lot of things that were not put in place, which basically has us to have a whole lot of issues with customers and all. But now what we have done to mitigate such is that we've been able to get a platform that exists within the bank and the insurance company, which basically allow the customer to give consent. So what this means is that when the referral is done or the customers are told that they are going to be debited for insurance, there is a consent manager platform which flows from the bank to us to have an arrangement. Say, okay, this customer is getting a loan, is getting a facility on his or our facility, on his or our or from us, and he needs an insurance. So they refer such customers to us, and we would take up the conversation with the customers to tell the customer, this is, and these are what you are going to be covered for. So the customer has the knowledge of what it, one of those things about releasing money for anything is that if you want to come to me to get money from me, I have to know the value that comes with the money you're getting from me. And that is basically what we're trying to do with the consent management framework. So the consent management framework has allowed us to ensure that we inform the customer adequately on the risk that they are pushing to us and the benefit for them to pick the insurance. So let me give you a typical example in one of the scenarios we have with a customer. The customer got a vehicle from the bank as a lease. And when you are trying to talk to the customer that we are going to charge you for insurance, and the man said, no, it's only third party I can do. I'm not going to go beyond doing third party for my vehicle. Well, and while the conversation was trying to go on, the account officer called us and he gave me the customer's contact to, reach out to the customer to just explain to the customer what he may stand to benefit if he picks up the comprehensive insurance. And we spoke with this customer. I can tell you for free, because the customer now has the knowledge of the product. The customer that was supposed to pay 75,000 naira for an insurance end up paying 10 million naira for the same insurance. So because the customer now have the knowledge, he was able to give a consent to us to say, okay, I can now get this comprehensive because I know. And should I shock you? Truth be told, after a while, in about maybe 33 or 4 5 months, one of the truck of the customer that was insured was on its way to Ijesha and had an accident. This accident even caused the death of the third party driver. And when the man called me and said, Samuel, it has happened. My truck, this and this, he wants, as Charles said, the first thing you have to do is you calm them down. Let them understand that they have an insurance. So I spoke with them, I calmed them down. You don't have to panic. Please go over to them to the police station, make a statement, let them understand that you have a place, you have an insurance in place that will take care of this. Discuss with the customer's family to reach out an agreement on the settlement for the life. And this was done. The claim was settled seamlessly. We compensated the family. We repaired the third party vehicle, and even we repaired the insured vehicle. Why did you do this? Or how did you do this? Because we sold the right product to the customer, and the customer was able to give us a consent for us to debit for that, for such insurance through the partnership we have with the bank. So basically, for it to be seamless, we have a platform we call the consent management framework, which enables customers to give us consent to debit them for the insurance they are getting from us. Thank you very much.
So, Makaide, thank you so much for your response. I particularly related to the story that you told. You know, we have a lot of businesses. My dad was a retailer, so he buys petrol, kerosene, and then he had trailers going to distribute them to depots. You know, very rich guy. But I grew up, having, seeing him quarrel a lot of drivers. Lorry is breaking down every single week. And he didn't know much about insurance. So it was sapping his money, and at some point he was one driving those lorries. So thank you so much. Samuel, I really enjoyed your response, and that story, I'm sure we stay in the mind of a lot of our audience. Let's take some questions, some live questions from Q&A. NICOM introduced a flat premium rate without consideration for insured. I'm sure this person is speaking to Moto, but let's go on. Without consideration for insured with consistent zero claim. Looks like the insurers, that's the insurance industry, embrace this without thinking of such customers. Is this not ultimately a disincentive to the growth of the insurance business? This question is more suited to Charles. So I'll take it again. NICOM introduced a flat premium rate without consideration for insured with consistent zero claim. I think this is speaking to a third party. Looks like the insurers embrace this without thinking of such customers. Is this not ultimately a disincentive to the growth of insurance business? Charles, please.
Okay, thank you, Edwin. So I would respond to this question, and then I'll pass it to Augustine a little bit of underwriting leg so that he can also comment. So this question has to do with customers with no claim. So talking about the new rate that NICOM introduced, which is a 5% flat rate for motor policies. I'm assuming, just like Edwin said, that this person is talking about a motor policy. So the person is looking at a scenario whereby a particular customer has, excuse me, has had a very good record, zero claim, so to speak, consistently over the years. And then NICOM is coming to say, oh, even though you do not claim, we are going to increase the rate. So there are a number of factors that led to the decision of NICOM concerning this issue. But majorly we have the motor portfolio to be underpriced. I'm sure that is one of the reasons why this policy was made. But for customers that have zero claims over the years, at Coronation we have a package for them. We have several incentives for them that makes you stand out. For instance, we also issue certificate of no claim, which can be used, to pursue some other documentation. We also give incentives, reduced rebates for, when you're renewing, some other gift items and so on that we add as part of the benefit for a very meticulous and careful driver. So I hope this provides some clarity to the issue, and I would like to have Augustine now to pass his comment. Thank you.
All right, Charles, thank you very much. Thank you for putting more clarity to the question. But I will start by looking at the question. Basically, Nikon did not fix flat rate per se. What happened is that in line with Insurance Act of 2003, motor originally is about 12.5% premium rate. However, you are allowed to give discounts, but as industry, we abuse the discounts. And so what Nikon did is that no matter the level of the discounts you are giving, you are not expected to go below 5%. No matter the level of discount you want to give. It is expected that motor rates ordinarily should be about 10 to 12.5%. For 10 for private motor, 12.5% or so for commercial vehicle. But as industry, we actually abuse it. And I can come up and say, look, we know this is what is applicable to the law. And so you cannot give, no matter the level of discount, you cannot give more than 5% as a flat rate. And that is what actually happened. The comment made by our the commentator is actually correct, because with this guideline or with this circular, sometimes it becomes difficult to compensate those that have a good claim experience, because everyone is having the same rate. However, as Charles rightly pointed out, at Coronation, there are some incentives we give to encourage those that have lesser claim ratio. And so those incentives is not monetary in terms of monetary, but one form of value-added discount, which we render to our clients to make them feel good and happy. And so these are what we do as an organization. We don't want to go against the regulatory, the law that say the minimum rate you are required to charge is 5%. I don't know if I've put clarity to this question.
Thank you, Augustine. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for that clarity. That was profound. At the beginning of this webinar, I mentioned to Charles that I'm sure people are looking for him. They've been looking for him for a long time, and I think they've caught him in this webinar because there are a lot of questions on claims.
No,
So
we are
Charles,
all together. We are here to look at it, both claim so we'll all look at it together as
all right.
and provide answer to our numerous listeners. Thank you.
So we have a question from Elizabeth. She has said, with all the rigorous process on claims settlements in Coronation Insurance, as you've at claim settlement, and what's the time frame for claim settlement?
Okay, thank you, Edwin, and thank you, Elizabeth, for the question. Well, rigorous process. I think, in my experience, a number of, or if not all, claimants find the process rigorous. But I would like to implore us that it is not always the case. It is not rigorous. It is there are some regulatory requirements There are some basic requirements. And you see, all of this helps us build up to the claim we are paying. So the process is not rigorous, I must encourage. Is simply a process whereby we ask you for this so and so document to validate your claim. Um, so it's not rigorous, like I said. And then secondly, the steps are easy. Now, the steps for making a claim differs with the kind of policy we are talking about.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I'll make an example with a typical motor policy, for instance, since the motor policy has come to limelight. So for a typical motor policy, you have bought a policy with coronation and then the loss crystallizes. Obviously, there will be a change from what the vehicle was when the insurance started and what the vehicle is now when there's a claim, when there's an accident. So we would ask you for photographs showing the damage to your vehicle. All right. We'll also ask you to fill a claim form. That's number two. We'll also ask you to get an estimate of repairs from your garage. That's number three. And then basically we'll ask you for your driver's license, which is like basic, because to own a car, you should have a driver's license. So with those four documents, we are good to go. Any other documents will be asked if there are pointers to it. For instance, if you had said you were involved in a theft, for instance, if they have burgled your vehicle, they vandalized the vehicle, we would ask for the police report to support that claim. So please, the claims process is not rigorous. I think also in my experience, people like to be talked to. So beyond the mail that is sent to ask for those documents, people also like it when they are spoken to say this like this, it is like this, is like, and that's why we have our reliable claims people. We also have our customer experience to walk you through this process. So if you need someone, people to talk to you to explain the documents to you, we are available. So please, the process is not rigorous. We just want to substantiate it, and then we are very happy to pay the valid ones. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Charles. We have a lot of questions here about third-party comprehensive insurance and what happens when no claims happen occur. And that question will be tailored to Augustine. But a quick question to you, Charles, is I know I'm currently filing for a claim for my AirPod Pro, and it took less than 24 hours for Coronation Insurance to respond to me. What is, and that's one of the questions this person asks, what is the promised time of response, not just in terms of engaging the customer, but even in terms of giving out monetary value to the customer for claims? What is the promised time by Coronation Insurance? Before Augustine answers the question on third party.
Okay, thank you. So I think I missed that part out from the previous question. So the typical turnaround time for a claims processing, and by claims processing, I mean from the time when you notify to settlement, is typically 48 hours, all right? So within 48 hours, we're expected to have received your claim and make payments. But you see, like I said, the challenge would be the part where you have to give us the document required. And that's why we employ our customers to assist in this aspect. So then what we'll do is we send reminders to our customers to say, this document is outstanding. Can we have it so we can process the claim? So typically, our standard in Coronation is to process the claims within 48 hours to make sure that we pay the claims within 48 hours. The other typical delays would be documentation and some other aspect, but the typical turnaround time for claims payment is 48 hours.
Thank you so much, Charles. I know that I've received claims in less than 24 hours, in less than 48 hours, multiple times. Across my 4 years with Coronation Insurance. And so I can attest that would very shortly play some customer testimonial videos on claims too to attest to what Charles is saying by actual customers. So you see that nothing is being made up. This is actually the truth. Connection Insurance has assured you of 48 hours. Hold us accountable to our words. Augustine, are you ready to take the question? Or do you want me to go over it again?
So
On
please
third part,
go on and
thank you.
listen.
Thank you so much, Augustine. To the question, we have a lot of them. So I've just compiled them into one question. A lot of questions. And it's on third party and comprehensive insurance. The question is, what happens if, what does third party and comprehensive even cover? My vehicle, third party's vehicle, what's that? What's all that lingua? Can you break out the jargon?
All right.
And if
So,
there are no
so let me
claims,
take it one by one so that we come. So let's
okay.
separate third party and comprehensive. Basically, what does your motor third party insurance cover? Third party is the minimum cover required by law for any road user that applies the rules to have. And basically, as the name implies, the third party, sorry, as the name implies, the third party insurance provide cover to a third party against third party bodily injury, third party death, and third party property damage. So the implication of this is that the insured, which is the first party, is not part of this contract. This policy is basically for a third party, other road users. So if you are driving your vehicle, for an instance, and you hit another person's vehicle, your third party motor insurance policy will provide the cost of repairing the third party that you damage his or her vehicle, but it doesn't cater for your own personal vehicle. The damages done to your own personal vehicle is not covered by your third party, but the damages done to the other person's vehicle is covered by your third party. Another thing again the third party covered is bodily injury. If you're on the road as you are a road user and you hit another person and cause bodily injury to that person, your third party motor insurance take care of the medical expenses, that is the cost of the bodily injury that the insured suffer. In the case of death, also your third party insurance also take care of third party debts. However, there is no amount of value you can place on human life. Human life has no value, but there is always a compensation to the family that suffer that you hit, and so that is what your third party vehicle cover. Apart from that, your third party motor insurance also have a benefit of brand card. Now, the implication of your brand card is that as a car owner, you can take your vehicle to any West African country without having, in as much as you have your motor third party with your brand card, you can use your vehicle in Ghana. You can drive your vehicle from Nigeria to Ghana. You can drive your vehicle to other West African states, provided you have your third party insurance. This is the basic cover of third party. Now, for your comprehensive, as the name implies, is a wider coverage. It covers your own personal vehicle, damage to your own vehicle, damage to third-party vehicle or third-party property damage. It covers third-party bodily injury and deaths. It also covers theft of your own vehicle. If the vehicle is stolen, if you have your comprehensive and you can prove that that vehicle was stolen, your third-party vehicle take care of it. If there is a fire accident to your vehicle in the course of driving the vehicle and it catches fire, your third party also take care of it. Sorry, your comprehensive also take care of it. So your comprehensive, as the name implies, is wider in coverage. It covers your own personal vehicle and that of third party. It covers the third party property damage and bodily injury. It covers fire and theft as well, and all other benefits that are also included in your comprehensive cover. So we can go to the next one. I don't know if I've answered this.
Thank you so much for your response, Augustine. That's a lot of clarity. So we now understand that third party covers another person's vehicle, not your own, but comprehensive and the person's life. And comprehensive covers both yours and another person's vehicle, inclusive of theft for your vehicle. Thank you so much, Augustine. The other question is, and in 1 minute, if there are no claims, this person question is what happens?
Now, insurance is a pool of risk, and I will give you a practical example. Is a group of people that come together to pull a fund. So if any one of us in that pool suffers injury, the money in the pool will be taken to restore to the person to the position he was before the loss occurred. And so that is what insurance is actually all about. Now, if you have a comprehensive motor insurance, let's just do a practical analysis. And there is, the rate is 5%. The value of that vehicle is 3 million. It means that the 5% of that vehicle is about 150,000 naira. Okay? So if there is a total damage on that vehicle, you have an accident and the vehicle is totally crashed, the insurance company is exposed to the tune of 3 million, for instance, subject to other policy terms and conditions. Now, you cannot compare the premium you pay with what the insurance company is exposed to. So we are carrying the risk of 3 million for a premium of 150,000. Like I said earlier on, if you have been driving over the year and there is no claim, there are some incentive in form of value-added services that we can offer to encourage you. Originally, we allowed no claim discounts, which we abuse as an industry, and that is what gave room to the minimum 5% that Nikon gave in their circular of year 2022. That with the effect of January 2023, every motor vehicle, the minimum rate you can charge is 5%. So this is what happened when there is no claim. You enjoy value-added services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Augustine. What you said is very clear. So insurance is the pool of risk, and that money is distributed to customers that have actual claims. And in the case where over time the customer has not had claims, we give value to those customers by recognizing them. Thank you so much, Augustine. I would like us to take a minute to watch some videos on our claims testimonial. I'm going to just share my screen and unmute. Okay.
Dear Coronation Insurance, I was driving around Yaba and at Adekule bus stop, a downfall driver just crashed into my car, like my baby. So after the incident, I called a former colleague to get details about how I can get claim because, well, I need to fix my money. And she said it was very fast, I just need to send the mail. Mail care, just like that. I shocked. It was a seamless process. So the second time I was hit, driver Japa, I reached out to the insurance, my relationship officer in the insurance, and she's like, if it's legit, the claim will be settled. Legit care. Why would I pretend? Eventually, everything was sorted. Thank you, Coronation Insurance.
My wife was a victim of malchance in Lagos, where she was beaten and robbed. after the unfortunate incident, I was able to recover some of my items that was insured through claims, but the other items that I didn't insure was lost completely.
Thank you for your time in seeing
Sorry,
those videos. I would like to let you know that those videos are available. Yes, please.
all right. I think someone asked a question I want to address on agri and construction industry. I don't know if I'm permitted to take up those two questions. Agri
Yes,
insurance,
please go on,
construction
sir.
and risk. Okay. There was a question on the chat board that asks, what are the insurance policies available for construction industry? We have a policy known as contractors or risk for construction industry, which provide cover for the value of the contracts that is the material damage, any losses or damages to the subject matter, which is the construction work going on, and it also covers a third-party liability during the course of construction. So we have a CAR, which is contractors or risk for construction industry. We also have plant oris, which take care of the construction equipment, plants and equipment that are used for construction. We also have a group life for the construction workers, which take care of any form of death in the course of their work. We also have group personal accident, which is GPA, that protects the staff against accidental deaths in the course of discharge of their duty. So there are a lot of products we have for construction industry. We have motor insurance that cover the vehicles and their truck that are used for construction. So these are the various products we have for construction industry. For agri insurance, there are a lot of products that we are working on, but currently we do not have the required authorization from our regulatory body to provide cover for agri. But I want to also assure you that Coronation is seriously working on getting the necessary approval for
Yes.
agricultural insurance products. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Augustine. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure we've provided a lot of clarity to that customers. Thank you so much, Augustine, again. I'd like to emphasize on the claims video that you just watched and that it is currently on our social media platform. That video is really crucial in showing you what we do as a company and letting you see real customers like yourself who have fallen into unfortunate situations like a car crash, motor accident, theft, and even robbery, and how we came through for those customers, and how we want to and we can come through for you too. So please go see those videos, engage with us, and engage on our platforms. All right. So we have a we have a poll currently on our Zoom platform. Would like you to please respond. Please take a minute to respond to this poll that is showing on your screen now. We have two questions for you, and we're waiting for your response. Whilst you are doing that, we would like Samuel Kayode, who has been quiet for a while, to speak to this question. Samuel, can you tell us about a memorable feedback or story from customers who have bought insurance through the bank assurance arrangement?
Okay. Thank you very much. I would touch based on about two or three. Then also, of course, because I'm also a customer of the bank, I will also share a story that basically, touched this to me too. So, there was this there was this platform, this product that we have. When we launched that product anew, then we call it business protection bundle. So it's just a bundle product that has to do with fire and special peril for our customers, and of course burglary for them. So you just combine fire and burglary for customers. So there was this customer at Balogun Market that we engaged when we started this policy. And of course, I really don't, when customers say they want to buy, and as much as we have an affordable pricing for it, we also want them to understand the real benefit they start to gain when they pick up this plan. So we engage this customer then, and he, of course, the minimum you can get on this platform, on this policy, is 5,000 naira. But we spoke with the customer to let the customer understand that 5,000 naira just covers 1 million naira. So we did all these things that you have here. How much will 1 million naira have to do for you there? Okay. And we were able to convince the customer to give us a premium of about 200 million. 200,000 to cover 100 million for his store, his space there at the shop. So all of a sudden, he just called me, and there was a time we had this, very popular fire incident that happened at Balogun Market, and he called me and said, "Samuel, our shop has started burning now. What will happen?" I just told him, "I'm on my way. Just hold on." So immediately I got there, I said, "Please don't too stress yourself. Whatever they can help you to recover from what you have there, just try to recover it for us, at least, so that would reduce what the insurance company will pay." So they were able to pull out some things and all that. And while I got there, I just told him, "Don't worry." He said, "Samuel, are you sure insurance company?" I said, "Insurance company actually covers this." This man just went on the little that they've helped him to recover. Just sat on it and he started drinking. I said, "Okay." The people are asking, "Why are you?" He said, "My insurance person is there, and he has told me that these things are covered." And lo and behold, after the incident happened and all that, we got the necessary documents in, sent him for claim. And he was so surprised. The claim was settled to the tune of the loss that he suffered in that market. So as everybody were crying, trying to get a GoFundMe to start all over again, he was basically not part of those people because he already had an insurance in place for him. And that was able to, take off the risk of take off the pressure of starting all over again for the customer. Another one I would say is a very good friend of mine. There was this product the bank had when I was in the bank. It's just to say pay 45 naira to have a cover of life for somebody you love for 250,000 naira. And I just got home. I told him, "Guy, there is a plan now that is already on in the bank. They say pay 45 naira for it. I have a life cover for 250. That is old though. Can't we get this plan for, of course, a very long time ago? 45 naira is a very long time ago, right?" And he said, "Okay, no problem. He would pay." So the premium was debited from his account. And after a while, what we're not expecting or whatever happened, and the dad passed. The dad had about 3 wives, and while other people were crying all around and saying, "How did they?" He just told me, "Samuel, it has happened. Oh, dad is dead. Where is the 250,000 naira you promised me?" I said, "No, no, no, no. I'm not the one that promised you 250,000 naira. It is the insurance company. Let's file the necessary things, provided the death certificate and the likes and the likes, while they set the date for that. Within the space of that, before the burial dates arrangements came to pass, the insurance company paid him, and he never believed it. Till today, anything that has to do with insurance on his property or anything, his life, he really, really does not play with it. So we also have such plan here in Coronation that you can actually pick as well. It's called the reference. This plan makes you to say, okay, you can, we don't want the family to suffer twice, right?
Yes.
So they love the loved one, they lost the loved ones. They can also not they can also not, not be able to have the money to take care of your death whenever it comes in. So we have that plan as well. You can arrange for your funeral for either yourself or your loved one with a premium. This plan is basically designed in such a way that you would be able to, to have the amount that you want to be for your funeral, and that will also be a sum assured in your own life whenever the unfortunate incident basically happens. So I don't know if you want me to give you one more. But basically, I would want to do that because this one basically happens to me personally. So I remember a very long time ago, I just got these very low laptops and two phones. I've always been using two phones, two phones, two phones. So I slept in my house that day. I just bought the laptop on Saturday. They just delivered it to me. And on Monday, I tried to do one or two things on it, set up things and all that on it. And around about 2 or 3 a.m., I woke up, still look at my laptop, very fresh. I covered it and I left it there. Lo and behold, between the next 1 hour, I just slept. Before I woke up, I discovered that my door has been flung open. My laptop, no laptop I just got, gone. My two phones were all gone. I came out, I was crying, shouting, come and see a grown man, crying, because basically I just put money together. But the thing is, I really do not have household insurance that would have saved me from, just like Edwin said, that I was saved from that. Me, I really do not
Yes.
have it. And it took me a very long time for me to get a laptop back and also to have even a phone back. But immediately I got back and I came into the insurance space, I was able to know about the product, householder insurance, and
Yes.
I picked up the insurance on householder. And just of recent, right? I because of the bridge they are doing, I had to go and follow through another route to go to my house. And I was on my way. I was relayed by these two guys on bike, and before you know it, my phones that are with me were taken. In fact, they wanted to take my car, but because it was what's it called? It was because of the security and all that they couldn't drive it away, and they cut away with my phone. Yeah, what I just did was when I got to the office, I just told the head of claims, boss, it has happened. They've collected my phone. Not like the former time that I didn't have that I was crying. So I didn't bother to cry. What I just did was they gave me the form and I filled, and every other necessary things were done to ensure that the claim is actually paid to me. So you can see from when I do not have insurance, how my reactions were to it, to when I had insurance, how my reaction is to it. And of course, we've done very well in coronation insurance to ensure that we give a plan that is relatively very, very low in terms of pricing. So you can pick up your household insurance with us for as low as 5,000 naira as well. And you have your all risk, like your phone, your
Yes.
jewelry, your laptop, all the gadgets you
Yes.
carry all around Lagos can come under this. You don't need to worry, you don't need to panic. If it happens,
Yes.
don't fight them. Suffer your life it is. Every other thing that they collected from you, if you pick up the
Exactly.
household insurance with us, would
Yes.
definitely be restored back to you. So I think I will stop here to see if other people want to have a go at testimony from customers as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Your those experiences will definitely stay with us. I would like to bring our attention again to the pool that is being displayed on your screen. For the second question, I would also want to mention that there are prizes to be won. When based on your answer to that particular question. So please go to the pool, respond, and we can't wait to give out prizes. We have a question here for Augustine. But before that, I would like to throw a question to, and we have a live question for Adaogo. And the question is, does it mean we have a question? This question is from Ibi Inka Elushade. And this person is saying, does it mean that you have all risk insurance for gadgets like phones? And is your firm operating all over Nigeria? Adogo.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, we do. We particularly have a package which is called the household insurance. It allows you to insure your valuables. You have phones, laptops, yes. So, and then incepting the plan is really very easy. Okay. Please, Edwin, could you get me back to the second question? Because it looks like a two in one question.
Okay. The second question is whether Coronation Insurance is operating all over Nigeria?
Yes, we do have offices in different parts of Nigeria. So wherever you are, we are ready to receive you and help you with whatever you need.
Thank you, Adogo. Before we go on to the question that has been directed at Augustine, I would just want to add to what you said, reminding our listeners, our audience of what you had mentioned earlier about our platforms. So we have the Access More application for Access Bank users. We have the retail portal that is open to all customers. We have our agent portal that is open to customers that would like to interact with an actual human being as opposed to buy it by themselves, which is what the retail portal allows. You can go through our agent, I'm just reminding them of what you said a little ago. We also have the USSD, platform. If you are in a place where you don't have access to the internet and you want to buy our policies, you can as well use our USSD portal. So thank you so much,
Okay,
Adogo, for that response.
can I quickly add?
Yes.
Yes, because we meet some of these people that don't even know how to read or write. We actually have proposal forms. So some of them have asked, oh, can we print it out? Can we fill and then send back, maybe scan and send or something? Maybe they need help in that regard. Because I've had some people who picked up and they're from the villages. So I just wanted to quickly add that option is available as well.
Yes, thank you so much. So this question is from Adewale Salau, and he's saying, how do we tackle the racket going on with vehicle registration office, where third party are being priced below the regulatory standard price? And how do we penetrate that space of the volume of GWP that comes out of that market? It says bracket IVO, VIO, FRC office. So we'll just give you a minute to respond to that, Augustine.
All right, Adewale Salawu, thank you very much. Regarding that question, one, there is the NIA are already handling that, which is Nigeria Insurance Association through the NIPP, the platform where it is now compulsory for you to sell your third party. Nikon also are taking that seriously with a lot of practitioners, and so if you are found wanting, the penalty is severe. The minimum price for third party for private motor is 15,000 naira with a benefit of 3 million naira property damage, and death or bodily injury are usually unlimited. For buses and other commercial vehicles is 20,000 naira is the price, and the benefit is 5 million, while big truck is 100,000 with third-party property damage to the tune of 5 million as well. And so the best way to tap into this potential is to partner with these agencies, but not selling below the minimum approved price, which is illegal and is not in a part of our ethics. And so we can partner with them and grow our GWP through partnership with all the necessary government agencies. Thank you.
Augustine, thank you so much for that brilliant response. I'm going to ask 3 questions in one, and I'm going to throw it open to the house. We have 2 questions from Adibowale Oniita, and we have one from Ibifuro Mpata. So the first question is, if I need to insure my household properties, including improvement done to the rented apartment against fire and special peril, how do I calculate my premium? And what plans, policies does Coronation has to cover this? Adibowale also asks, if I need to...
No, let me take this so that we'll move on to the
Okay.
next. For your householder, you can regard the improvement as part of your content, which is because you are not the owner of the building and you are not allowed to insure the building itself. The building is, if you are the owner, you take house owners insurance, which is also the same thing with house owner insurance for tenants. And so the improvement are part of your content, which can be insured. Remember that your householder policies have different sections. You have your the past section is the building, which cover the fire and special peril on the property itself. You have a section that take care of the content for fire and burglary insurance, and you have a section that take care of the all risk, which includes your jewelries, your laptop, your earrings, your phone, every movable item, the gadgets you take from one place to another are covered under the all risk sections. And you have a section for public liability, which is also part of the policy that have it has a minimum free cover to the tune of 100,000 for public liability, and you have workmen compensation for your domestic workers, so the tune of 50,000. However, each of these sections can be increased. If you want to cover your property, we need a comprehensive list of the contents that we want to cover, so that in the event of claim, we will not be speaking much English. You have, the items you have with you, your property, the list of the items. So for the content, if it is possible, list them and place the value of each
Yes.
of those items, except clothing. Like clothing, you can lump the value for all your clothing and choose
Yes.
together. But for television, for your freezer, your fridge,
Gas cooker.
gas cooker, those ones, the
Yes.
value, state them and place the value. For your
Yes.
phone, we do not allow you just say Samsung. Samsung, what is the make of the phone? What is the
Yes.
IME number of the phone? You need to give those information and the value of the phone, so that in the event of claim, we will not have any issue. And one of the key things in insurance is utmost good faith. We will have to disclose everything that we need to disclose. So that is what I want to say for that.
Thank you so much, Augustine. I think that you highlighted one key mistake that a lot of people make when buying the household insurance, and that is to list out the items that you want to be insured. If you do not tell us that you are insuring your TV and the child breaks it, don't now come and tell us that your TV is broken. Meanwhile, you listed fridge and gas cooker. I think that's very key. So thank you so much, Augustine. Adago, you mentioned something about reaching out to those in the rural areas, the retail markets, especially those people that are uneducated. A lot of them can't even write. And the question to you is, have you met someone that have regretted not having insurance? What happened? Also, how do you keep your team? So these are two questions in one. How do you keep your team in the retail rural market motivated and not being discouraged?
Okay, can I take the first question? Maybe you would
100%.
help me with it again, please.
Okay. So have you met someone that regretted not having insurance, and what was the experience?
Oh, okay. We've had way too many of them. In
Okay.
fact, one yesterday came to the office. He was in dire need of money, and I remember I spoke to him about picking up a plan for himself and his family, and he just kept giving reasons why he wouldn't be able to. So obviously, by the time he came, he needed help, like an emergency, and I felt sad telling him, I wish you did it when you had to. So that's just one out of so many. So yes, most persons who we've spoken to at some time and they just felt it wasn't necessary at that time, they just come back and they keep saying, oh, I wish I did.
I wish.
There's one I love to share, like
Okay.
well, in his own case, he didn't see the need at first, but much later, like I'll still go back to what the welcome remark Mr. Olamide mentioned, talked about protecting what you love the most. he didn't want to do, but he saw his friend picking up a plan for his child. And it turns out he has a 2-year-old, and he's a business-minded person. But then I just told him, I said, see, you are a business-minded person and you're calculating the cost, the profits, what's it needs for me if I pick up an insurance plan. But your child doesn't know that right now. So if you're picking a plan for your child, for example, you're doing your child a lot of good, because nobody prays for these risks we are exposed to that keeps happening to people, but they happen. So it's just a way of safeguarding the future of your child. And I'm glad he's been able to incept in his own case. But regrettably, a lot of persons have refused to pick at the time they were told, and then the regret comes afterwards.
Adogo, thank you so much. Very passionate. I can literally feel the passion in your voice. Yes.
I don't know if I'm also allowed to share one funny experience I had when I was
Yes,
rich.
please.
I had a very rich church member in those days that just bought his car, and they took the vehicle to the church. We prayed and cast out the whole demon, and everybody was praying. The car was dedicated, and the next Monday, that car was crashed, had a very terrible accident. No single part remained from that car. I didn't mean this particular member have an insurance cover. The money he invested in that property would have not been a waste, because it was more like a waste. So I think it's very key that sometimes it is more cheaper to insure than not to have insurance. It's so cheap to insure. You can imagine paying 150,000 naira for insurance value of 3 million, which is nothing to be compared with the loss that awaits you. My first vehicle, I was waiting for vehicle particular, just moving on the road, and one big truck just scattered the vehicle. I was not having, there was no, I don't have, I was waiting for the vehicle papers to be complete before I can take up insurance. But before that, I had a serious claim which caused an impact that even when I sold the vehicle, the impact was still there. And so please, I think it's very key that we take insurance as serious as it is a serious thing, and it's so cheap to have insurance than not to have insurance. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Augustine.
Also, if I may, Edwin, I also just want to relate with what Augustine just shared now. I know a whole lot of people usually say that they need to wait for, I need to wait for my particulars before I insure. A whole lot of people, what we're trying to do to tell people is to understand that there is no way, or there is no time that a damage or a loss cannot happen. See, when I got my vehicle, I ensured that before the vehicle moved, insurance is already on it. And that is why we have these digital platforms that we use now.
Yeah.
The retail, you can just go there, put in the details of what you have with you before you even move the vehicle from your vendor. It is insured. And whatever happens to it as you're moving it is covered. Use the USSD to buy the insurance for yourself. You don't need to wait. You don't need to wait for you to reach out to your agent or to your account officer with the insurance before you can buy this. At the convenience of wherever you are, go onto our retail portal, get an insurance from there immediately. And if anything should happen along the road as you're coming, be sure that you're rest assured. You'll not be like my Oga Augustine that asked to say the impact was still on the vehicle until they actually said, I just wanted to check that in for you. So make use of our retail platform, make use of our USSD platform to ensure that you get this hands-on anywhere you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel.
Sorry, please, can I quickly add?
Yes, please.
It's actually a tool of convenience. I mean, picking an insurance plan. I'm going to say this with regards to the fact that I believe a lot of persons that are here, I mean the attendees, some of them are parents. I've had a someone who picked up a plan with my team. She picked it because I discussed it from the angle that you can actually pick up a plan and not be bothered about paying school fees every term. Everyone who has a parent is usually bothered by that because
That's so
every time
good.
you're dipping your hand in your pocket and it's not convenient.
Yes.
You're doing a bit of pain. But I'm so happy that she picked up this plan from this angle I talked to her about. And she was like, oh, wow, that this is a whole world of convenience for me. I and my husband were not bothered about paying everything. We pay every session. I mean, for someone who is doing 200 to 500,000 naira every month for school fees, and then you're doing that in a session, you are bothered about some other things. Your pressure is not on that anymore. So I really don't see why anyone shouldn't pick an insurance plan for themselves already.
Thank you so much, Adogo. The next question is also for you. You are doing, like they say, the work of the Lord, because we have about 239 million people in Nigeria, and many of the things that is being said concerning the African market, not just Nigeria, is the large population, and with a lot of people means a lot of opportunity to make money. We have two questions for you. There are one actually. The first is how do you keep your team motivated? And then what is the biggest challenge that you face, especially when you go through this to these people in rural areas? I know you mentioned one is illiteracy, how that you need to use paper forms, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear your experience. What are the challenges, the biggest challenges that you face, and how do you motivate your team to get them to keep working?
Okay, regards to motivating my team, I've had my fair share of experiences. I usually tell them that when I picked up the job, it wasn't convenient. I had zero, what will I call it now? Zero knowledge about sales or marketing, but I learned so much on the job. I've had people motivate me, yes, but the truth is that the greatest motivator is yourself. Because when you are talking to people about, oh, this helps you, you have to also take it back to yourself and like, okay, how can this help me? So even as someone who works with Coronation Insurance, I also have a plan for myself. So when I'm talking to people about Coronation Insurance plans, I'm not just saying it, I have it, I use it, I enjoy it, it benefits me. So this is this same thing I also tell my team members, like, pick a plan yourself. From that angle, if you're talking to people about insurance plans, you're saying it with that kind of confidence, like, okay, I'm not selling to you what I don't use, because we find some people doing that, all right? And I just tell them that, see, even the city called Rome wasn't built in a day. So you need to keep putting in the efforts, keep talking to them. They don't see, some of them don't even know what they want, sadly. And I've attended a number of conferences where I found out that the percentage of Nigerians who have picked insurance plans, it's really, really minute, and it's so sad. But we have that duty, we're committed to, and that is to keep talking, keep getting any opportunity, using any opportunity to talk to people about these insurance plans like Coronation has offered. Then concerning the literacy part, the literacy or illiteracy, I'm always glad to offer my services as an individual, and I get to carry that across to my team. If you can't speak English, we can come down to that level. If you are not able to write, we'll just break it down to the level where you can understand it, really. So on part of my team, I always tell them what to do based on the experiences I've had. And then I do the best I can to motivate them daily, to make them understand that, see, this thing, you have to keep doing it. And people need to know that you are sure what you're saying every time you get. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so Edwin, let me also
Adogo,
chip
thank you.
in.
Okay.
All right, Edwin, let me also chip in to some of those things that Adaogo has said to also relate with it. So one of those things that you can enjoy as a salesperson is to have your first sales. I know it's not easy, and a whole lot of people come into insurance not because they actually want to be an insurance practitioner, but they just came into insurance because they see that it's stopgap. And that is where you need to understand that coming into insurance, having it at a stopgap will not help your career. So you have to be self-motivating into that. And once you are able to push your first sales, you will discover that a customer, so the same formula you use for a customer that you sell 5,000 naira to, is the same approach you will use for a customer that you sell 100 million to. So as she has said, Rome is not built in a day, but keep at it and ensure that you use the same formula that you used to get 5,000 naira. Keep at it. That same formula will give you a billion naira in insurance premium. So I just wanted to chip that in for you.
Samuel, thank you so much. Is obvious that making your first sale will give you the confidence, just like Adago also mentioned, the confidence that you need to go ahead. Also the humility, like Adago also mentioned, to go down to um, the level of these customers, especially those that are uneducated, to fill forms for them and just engage them constantly so that even when ill happens, they can take advantage of the value that insurance provides. Ibinka has asked for the link to the retail portal, and for our USSD code, we are going to drop all of that in the chat. We are going to also display it at the end of the webinar. So please look forward to that. We'll drop it on the chat.
Edwin, I also
Okay.
noticed a lot of people are asking questions on our live product, and so it is also important we let them know
Okay.
how to go about it. Thank you.
All right. So, I mean, our live products can also be purchased on the platforms, portals that you buy our general insurance from. We are responding to the questions on Coronation Life Assurance in the chat. So if you check your charts, you will see our response to Coronation Life Assurance. I just want to draw our attention to the fact that this is primarily a Coronation General Insurance webinar. You can learn more about Coronation Life Assurance on our social media platforms by directly chatting with us. We'll drop on the chat the email to corporate communications. Please reach out to us and we'll provide answers to your questions. But we are responding to your questions on Coronation Life products on the chats as we go on. We have a question for Charles, and after this question, I'm going to leave the panel open for our panelists in with one sentence to leave us with something to take on with. After Charles' question, every single panelist will leave us with something to take on with, just a sentence, something that we should take on with concerning insurance, and then we would take the recap and the closing remark. Charles, so the last question is to you. Given that we are customers, we the customers have been looking for you for a long time. What are the common mistakes or delays that prevent claims from successfully going through, and how can we avoid them? Common mistakes or delays that prevent claims from successfully going through, and how can we avoid them? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. So this particular question is has been one of the reasons why we have so many misconceptions, so many hearsays about insurance. So you see, claims process is about documentation, like I said earlier. So when we have incomplete documentation, especially for documents that are very vital to your claim, it is difficult to go ahead with a claim. Again, I'll use the example of a motor policy. If you had come to us, for instance, with a claim, you've bought a policy with us, and then the loss happens, and then one of the supporting documents for a motor claim is the estimate of repairs. So basically, the estimate of repairs is one document issued by your garage, your mechanic, that tells us the extent of the damage in monetary terms, all right? Now, without that estimate of repairs, it is practically impossible to move on with that claim. So, so when you fail to give us those kind of documents, it makes the claims delay. Other example of the reasons why we have this kind of issues are wrongly captioned claim. When I say wrongly captioned, I mean when the cost of loss is not clear and concise. You know, in claims, we try and analyze the cost of the loss and then the perils that are covered, the insurance you bought, for instance, and then the cost of the loss. When we try to narrow it down, we now establish if the loss is covered. So in doing that, we need to have a clear and concise narration of the loss. If this is not there, it makes it, it makes it stall. We need to establish that this loss happened and then we cover it. And then other reasons would be when the customer are not available. Sometimes we have seen cases where the loss happened and the customer traveled. The garage is not available for the inspection. A lot of other issues like that. But I tell you, once we have all our documentations in place, the claims is good to go. Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you so much, Charles. The MD's answer.
Yeah, thank you, Edwin. It's been a wonderful section. This particular question that was asked, I think it's very important that we throw more light into it, because usually the number 50% of the complaint from insurance are to be motor insurance, truly. I think the starting point in understanding claims, understanding insurance is the policy document. So when you accept an insurance cover, the insurance company will issue a policy document, which state the terms and conditions of the policy. And then, in addition, anything that have to do with your claims, treatment of your claims will be stated in your policy document. The excess, the deductible, better, whatever it is, to be said in your policy document as clauses. Good. So there's a claim, and the insured has not read the policy document, and the underwriter has appointed this and for motor insurance an auto assessor. The auto assessor has discussed with your mechanic and they've agreed on the estimate of repairs. Let's say the claim is 2 million naira. After our own auto assessor, who is usually a mechanic too, let me use our local balance. He has discussed with your own mechanic and they've agreed for 2 million naira is 1.5 million naira. They've agreed. The client expectation or the insured expectation is that the check is expecting for 1.5 million naira. But if you look at the terms and conditions of your policy, you have what we call depreciation. You have excess, you have deductible, which is same as excess. So by the time we apply those terms and conditions at our own office and we communicate 1.3 million naira to the insured, we see conflict. And why? Because by the time we now incorporate the terms and conditions in the policy document, which were there from the onset, which insured usually do not read, and then you see conflict back and forth. Oh, they caught my claim, insurance is like this. So my advice is anyone that is taking up insurance cover, and you're giving a policy document, take your time to read the policy document. If you are not clear on any area, get back to your insurance company or your agent or your broker that sold those policies to you to explain, so that you have full understanding of one, the scope of what you are buying and the extent, and the terms and conditions that guide the policy, that insurance cover. So that when you have a claim, by the time the insurance company start applying the necessary terms and conditions in your policy, there will not be conflict. If you're able to solve this, the issue of back and forth on the claims have not settled, it will totally eradicate it. So that's a very important thing the insurer needs to bear in mind. Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you so much, Lamide. Thank you so much, our panelists. Thank you so much, Augustine. Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much, Adogo. Thank you so much, Samuel. One thing that I'm leaving with is what Augustine said as regards underwriting. He has said that underwriting is the evaluation of risk to know whether to accept or to reject a risk. Charles has also said that reputation is what keeps us on our toes and ensures that we make our claims as promised. Adogo has said that we ensure that our products are designed for every cadre of the socioeconomic class. And Samuel has said that our bank assurance model is designed such that there's seamless transfer of both payments and value to and from the customer and the bank assurance system. I would like to invite Adibowale Popola, the head of marketing communications, Coronation Life Insurance, for his closing remark and vote of thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Edwin. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you are joining us from. My name is Adibowale Popola, and I serve as the head of marketing and corporate communications at Coronation Insurance PLC. As we come to the end of today's session, I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to everyone who joined us for this important conversation. And on behalf of Coronation Insurance PLC, thank you for making the time to be part of this enlightening webinar. We set out today with a clear objective, and that is to simplify insurance, clarify misconceptions, and make the topic more relatable and relevant to everyday Nigerians. From the question asked to the insights shared, it's clear that we are on the right path. That is empowering more people with knowledge to make informed protection decisions. And to our esteemed panelists, thank you very much for your clarity, for practical insights, and the real-life examples that brought this conversation to life. And to our moderator, Edwin, thank you for skillfully guiding today's discussion. Together, you transform what is often perceived as a complicated topic into a clear, relatable, and actionable conversation. For more than just informing, you've helped foster a deep understanding and trust in the value of insurance in everyday life. To our attendees, your thoughtful questions and active participation made this session truly engaging. And I want to encourage you to take the key takeaways you've learned and apply them in your decision making. As Coronation Insurance PLC, we remain committed to bridging the knowledge gap around insurance and making it accessible, understandable, and truly valuable. We hope that today's discussion has sparked a shift, however small, in how you view insurance, not as something difficult, but as a practical tool to protect your goals, your business, and your future. Please feel free to follow up with any additional question you may have, and we are ready to give you feedback. And don't forget to also follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates, resources, and upcoming sessions and webinar series. Once again, thank you for joining us. Stay safe, stay informed, and most importantly, stay protected. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Adibowale. Please, if you would like to know more about insurance, whether general insurance or life assurance, please scan the code that is being displayed on your screen now. If you'd like to know more about insurance, if you want to buy any of our products, please scan the code. Until our next webinar, take care of yourself.
Thank you.